Good morning everyone. Kindly switch on your videos and after that we'll start. Yes everyone, kindly switch on your videos. Yes, the rest, kindly switch on your videos. Okay, so you had doubts for natural history of disease and then the common terminologies, right? So today we'll be discussing about that. So is my voice audible or is it breaking? Kindly please say if it's okay. Is it okay? Okay, I think so. If there will be problem then kindly let me know. Okay. Okay. So talking about the natural history of disease, actually this thing, no, the natural history. So this varies from person to person, okay, and also from disease to disease. For example, the natural history of polio will be different from the natural history of TB. Okay, again, a person suffering from polio, the natural history of polio in that person will be different from the natural history in another person. Okay, so this natural history, this varies from person to person and also from disease to disease. Now why does this term natural terminology, how did this term emerge? Okay, so we all know that there has to be a interaction between man, environment and agent, okay, between these three components for a disease to occur. So this term natural history, it signifies that how a disease like it evolves, okay, means how a disease it keeps on changing, then from time till like from time to time, first as a like emergence of the disease and at the end as the termination of a disease. So the termination of a disease is this can be in three ways. Okay, so does anyone remember how a disease can end or terminate? Anyone? The disease can end or terminate in three ways. So does anyone remember? Recovery, disability and death. Okay, good. So a disease, someone might recover from a disease, that is also known as your like the end of a disease. Okay, some diseases might leave some disabilities after it. For example, polio, where we see the post polio syndrome. Okay, so that is another example. And some disease might also lead to death, but even if it leads to death, even then it is said to be the termination or the end of a disease. Now this natural history, it has got two phases. One is the pre-pathogenesis phase, Second is the pathogenesis phase. Now the pathogenesis, we know that it is the disease phase, right? Pathogenesis is the disease phase. So if I say pre-pathogenesis phase, that is before the disease occurs, that is your pre-pathogenesis phase. So this is the phase which like before the onset of a disease. Okay, so a particular individual, like suppose he is exposed to all the risk factors, okay, the risk factors are around him, but still the person is not getting the disease, that is the pre-pathogenesis phase. Means the disease has not yet entered the body, but the factors which cause the disease, these factors are present in the environment. But now why the disease has not occurred? Because for a disease to occur, there has to be a complex interaction between man, environment and agent, right? So now here the agent is present, it is present in the environment, but there is, and the human host is also present. Three things are present, but still there is no interaction between these three. That is the human, agent and the environment, there is no interaction between these three. So the disease is not caused here. So that is the pre-pathogenesis phase. And somewhere or the other, every one of us are like in the pre-pathogenesis phase of many diseases. Okay, for example, the best example at present date is the COVID-19. Okay, so the agent is also present in the environment, okay, and the disease is also much prevalent, but still we are not getting the disease. Why? Because there is no proper interaction between us, that is the human host, okay, and the agent and the environment, because of which the disease has not occurred yet in us. So we are in the pre-pathogenesis phase of COVID-19. Not only COVID, many diseases. Suppose if you are residing in a malaria prone area and the environment is there, the agent is also there, but still you are not getting the disease. Why? Because there is no interaction between you, that is the host, the agent, that is the malaria agent, okay, and then next is the environment. So there has to be an interaction between these three for a disease to occur. So in this one, which is your pre-pathogenesis phase, we are directly or indirectly in the pre-pathogenesis phase for some disease or the other. So it is also known as man in the midst of disease. Okay, means man in the middle of disease. Also man exposed to the risk of disease. So we are exposed to all the risk, but still because of lack of interaction we are not getting the disease. So it is said as men exposed to the risk of disease or men in the midst of disease. Clear this pre-pathogenesis phase? Okay, so here just remember that all the agents are there, okay, the host is also there, the agent is also there, and the environment is also there. Means all the three factors are present, but still you are not getting the disease. Why? Because of lack of interaction between these three agents. So as a result you are in the middle of some disease or you are exposed to all the risk, but still you will not get the disease due to lack of interaction. So this is the pre-pathogenesis phase. Next, talking about the pathogenesis phase. Okay, so pre-pathogenesis phase was when the disease organism did not enter your body. That was the pre-pathogenesis phase. Now talking about the pathogenesis phase, this is when the disease organism or the disease agent has entered the human host. Okay, human host or any host, that is the pathogenesis phase. Now the pathogenesis phase, this is further subdivided into disease control, disease elimination and disease eradication. Okay, so it has been divided into these three. Now talking about disease control, so this one is aimed at, like, we reduce the incidence of the disease. Incidence means the number of new cases, right? you all remember, I hope you all remember, prevalence means the number of new and old cases, and incidence means the number of new cases. So reducing the incidence of a disease means reducing the number of new cases of a disease. Next was your reducing the duration of illness. So this is, I hope you understood this, that uh, the time period for which a disease will last, you try to reduce that. How will you reduce that? Maybe by proper treatment, by reporting early. So by these methods one can reduce the duration of illness. Next is reducing the complication of infection. How, if we go for symptomatic management, like whatever the complication of the infection are, if we are like stopping the infection in midway, so the complications will also be less for that particular infection. Next is reducing the financial burden to the family and community. That means the expenditure. Okay, so whenever one have got a disease, so of course there will be some kind of expenditure, the hospital bills, the medicine bills. So to disease control also aims at reducing this financial burden to the family and the community. And here in the disease control phase, like the disease agent is present in the environment, okay, but it is present in such a low rate or in such a low number that that particular disease is no longer a major threat. Okay, for example, I gave you an example of malaria. So you all know that malaria is still there, the agent is still there in the environment, right? But maybe through some proper precautionary measures, that malaria is not that prevalent. Okay, if you compare malaria and COVID, so you will know which one is more transmissible, which one is more dangerous, although both can be dangerous at some point or the other. But the thing is the spread. Okay, the disease control means malaria has been well controlled till now. Okay, maybe through precautionary measures by the government or by the people, but still this has been controlled. So the disease organism is present. Okay, you all know that the malaria agent, the smallpox agent is not present, but the malaria agent is still present in the environment. The human host is also present, but still it is no longer a major threat. Why? Because there cannot be a proper interaction between these three. So it is, although it is present, but not a major threat. So this comes under your disease control. Next, talking about disease elimination. So in disease elimination, what we try to do is break the chain. Okay, break the chain of transmission. That is your disease elimination. That is like suppose a disease, it spreads from one person to the other. Okay, if I give you the example of COVID that I already told you, let's give another example of HIV/AIDS. Okay, so talking about HIV/AIDS, so how this can also be, the disease transmission can be interrupted at the human level, right? The disease agent is present in the environment. Okay, the favorable environment is also there, but still by taking some precautionary measures, okay, for example, you are using some protective measures while having sexual intercourse, okay, and then not sharing the same needles, okay, restraining the person who are HIV positive from blood donation or from organ donation. So all these things, okay, why are we doing these things? To interrupt the transmission of disease, that is to break the chain. Okay, so this when done in a bigger geographical area or in a large geographical area, that is known as your disease elimination. Okay, and also this for COVID scenario, if you talk about, so like it is like present globally, right? So this is present globally. So how are we trying to break the chain? By using sanitizer, by using mask, right, by washing hands, by vaccination. So why are we taking up these measures? To eliminate the disease. Okay, this is known as your disease elimination, that is preventing the transmission by breaking the chain. That is the disease elimination. Next, talking about disease eradication. This means the infectious agent, whatever is present, the infectious agent, the extermination of that agent, okay, or the complete vanishing of that infectious agent. For example, smallpox. The smallpox virus is no longer present in the environment, and smallpox disease is also not there. The disease is not there because it was well controlled and it was well eliminated. But for a disease to be eradicated, the infectious organism, the pathogen causing the disease, has also to be eliminated. Okay, so the smallpox virus, that was eradicated completely. How? Because there was extermination of that smallpox virus. So in that way, smallpox is the only disease that has been eradicated till now. So these three are different terms, although they sound similar: control, elimination and eradication, but they are different. Control means the disease has occurred, now you are trying to reduce the incidence of the disease, the complications of the disease, trying to reduce the financial burden. So all this comes under your disease control. Talking about disease elimination, you are trying to prevent the spread of the disease in large geographical area. Next is the disease eradication, which means here you exterminate the infectious agent itself. Okay, so this is your disease eradication. So clear about these things? Is it clear? Okay. So now you all tell me what is the phase, okay, when the disease organism is present in the environment but has not entered the human host. So what is that phase called? Yes, it is the pre-pathogenesis phase. Okay. Now think of this, that the agent is also present in the environment, okay, and the human host is also there, but the disease has not occurred. Why? What is the reason that the disease has not occurred in the person? Okay, see, you want me to repeat it? The infectious agent is present in the environment and the human host is also there, but still the disease has not occurred in a person. Why? What can be the reason? Yes, someone said it's because Gina, she said that it's lack of interaction. Anyone else wants to add up something? after this? Yes, anyone else wants to say something? The agent is there, the environment is there, the host is also there, but still the disease has not emerged or not occurred in a particular host. Why? So it's the lack of interaction. Okay, so she's right. So when you do not have a proper interaction between the agent, environment and the host, then a disease cannot occur. Okay, so there has to be a complex interaction between these three factors for a disease to occur. So the lack of interaction prevents the occurrence of a disease. Clear? Clear everyone? So men exposed to the risk of disease, this is which phase? Okay, you can't hear me. The rest, are you all hearing me? Pre-pathogenesis. Others? Yes. So that is the pre-pathogenesis phase. Okay, because we are exposed to all the risk but still we are not getting the disease. That is the man exposed to the risk of disease or man in the midst of disease. Okay, that is the pre-pathogenesis phase. Now reducing the duration of illness, this comes under which subdivision of your pathogenesis phase? Reducing the duration of illness, this comes under which subdivision of the pathogenesis phase? Okay, good. That is disease control. Now, next, the disease agent, it is present in the environment but at a very low level. In which phase? Option A is your pre-pathogenesis phase, option B is disease control, option C is disease elimination, option D is disease eradication. Okay, you all can't hear me. Is there some problem, network issues? Rest, are you all hearing me? Yes. Is it clear now? Okay. So this is the disease control phase. okay, where the disease agent, it is present in the environment at low level. Okay, I'm not audible. The rest, am I audible to you all?
Ma'am.
Okay, then Dristilina, I think you have some problem with your network. Maybe you have network issues, or please check your device once. But I guess the rest are hearing, right? Okay. Justelina, please check your device or network issues. You might be having some. Next, trying to break the chain. Okay, breaking the chain. So this comes under which phase of pathogenesis? Whether in the pathogenesis phase, pre-pathogenesis phase, disease control, elimination, or eradication. Pre-pathogenesis, disease control, elimination, or eradication. Yes, correct. This comes under your disease elimination. Okay, good. Next is extermination of the infectious agent. So this comes under which phase of disease eradication? Extermination of the infectious agent, this comes under which phase? Option A, pre-pathogenesis, option B, disease control, option C, elimination, and option D is your disease eradication. So which one? So, okay, good. It is disease eradication. Now, talking about like using sanitizers, vaccine, hand washing, using mask, okay. So, all these things, why are we doing? To stop the transmission of COVID-19. So, this comes under, this is an example of which phase? Of which phase of the natural history of COVID-19? I'll repeat the question. Using mask, hand washing, using sanitizer, vaccination. So all these things, why are we doing? To stop the transmission of COVID-19. So this comes under which natural history phase of COVID? Option A is your pre-pathogenesis, B is control, C is elimination, D is eradication. Others? Okay, so the answer is your disease elimination. Okay, So one person said that, I think Gina said that this is eradication, but okay, Gina, she said it's disease elimination. The rest of the people said pre-pathogenesis. See, I think there is a confusion here. So we are in both the situation, okay, pre-pathogenesis also we are, but when do we say that we are in the pre-pathogenesis phase? See, you are not exposed to the disease, okay, the disease factor is present in the environment, you are also there, but still you are not getting the disease. So for COVID, so this comes under your pre-pathogenesis phase. Now if I say that you are using all the precautionary measures, that is hand washing, mask, okay, sanitizers, vaccination, so you are taking up these precautionary measures, why? So that is as an aim to eliminate the disease. So all these things, they come under your disease elimination. See, one disease will have all the phases, okay, depending on how it differs. So if I say that for example, if I say that the COVID virus, the coronavirus is present in the environment and you have not got the disease, okay, so you are still away from it, you are safe. So you're not safe means till now you are safe, so you have not got the disease. In future you do not know what will happen. So this comes under your pre-pathogenesis phase. Now if I say you are using these precautionary measures, okay, hand washing, using sanitizer, mask, vaccination, so why are you using these precautionary measures? So this comes under your disease elimination. So you are trying to eliminate the disease, you are trying to break the chain, and that too in a large geographical area. So this comes under your disease elimination. Clear? The particular disease can have both the phases, pre-pathogenesis and elimination, depending on like what you are doing, okay. If you are not exposed to the disease till now, you are in the pre-pathogenesis phase. Now if I say that you are taking up the precautionary measures to stop the transmission or to break the chain, then this comes under your disease elimination. Clear, everyone? Okay, so at the same time two things might happen, so just see like what references I'm giving. Okay, if the reference is like you have like the COVID is so much spreading but still you are not getting the disease, so that reference will indicate that you are in the pre-pathogenesis phase. But then you are using the precautionary measures now, so to break the chain, if the reference is in that way, so the answer will be you are trying to eliminate the disease. So there is a difference. So is it clear now, the natural history of disease? Okay. So we'll wind up the class now. So CR, you can give me the attendance, and if you have any doubts for natural history, then you can ask me tomorrow as well. Okay. So tomorrow we'll be discussing about the common terminologies. So you all go through those ones, the common terminologies, whatever I have given, and maybe there are more terms that you need to know, for example, incidence, prevalence, that I gave you later on, but still go through those terms as well, okay? And kindly go through this topic as well, okay, natural history of disease, because when you read it, okay, then it's easy, but when you think of this with examples, it becomes a bit harder, okay. So try relating this with some examples, And then if you have any doubts, you can ask me tomorrow. Clear, everyone? Okay. So we'll end the class now. And CR, you send me the attendance.